Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded anything. It's been a weird month. I've had all sorts of things pulling me in every different kind of direction, and I've just not managed to find the time to actually record anything because, you know, I've had all sorts going on. That's all I can give you. But anyway, today I'm going to be looking at a piece of music that I've had on my computer for a little while now, and I've been meaning and wanting to look at it for a while, but I've not been able to find any lyrics for the piece of music. Now, the band we're going to be looking at is called Camerata Mediolanense, which is an ensemble from Milan, Italy, that was established in 1994, so they have been around for a fair while. And their music can be classified as dark wave / neoclassical with folk elements. Now, being that they're from Milan, Italy, the songs are sung in Italian, and whilst I currently am learning to speak Italian, I will not be able to translate it for you because I cannot find any lyrics anywhere, Italian or otherwise, which is unfortunate. But it's a piece of music I really want to look at, just because it looks and sounds interesting. Now, the head of the project is diplomated classical composer Elena Prejudice. Other members come from different training and musical experiences. Percussionist and singer Trevor and percussionist Manuel Aroldi come from post-punk scene, while former lead singer Daniela Bedeschi has a past in folk music. The name Camerata Mediolanense, I managed to say it perfectly the first time, didn't I? Literally means group of chamber musicians from Milan. So it's the name of the band is basically a description of what they are. Their music is composed according to the traditions and history of Italy and Europe's classical folk music, using martial percussion, sublime voices, keyboard, and electronic devices. The band was in 2008 attacked by a commando in a bar, and Camerata later went on to file a complaint against this commando. What a very strange thing to happen. Anyway, so the music is described as dark wave / neoclassical with folk elements. I'm very intrigued to find out what this is about. So we'll just jump into this. We're going to be looking at a piece of music. I cannot remember what it's called. It's called Embryo Ventosa. Now, embryo, we understand what that means. Ventosa means to suck or sucker. You know, an embryo sucker? That's the name of the song, but like I said, I haven't got lyrics, so I'm not going to be able to dive further into what that means. So anyway, we'll jump into this piece of music and see what we've got. So, Embryo Ventosa by Camerata Mediolanense. Let's have a look.
Embryo ventosa pari, cui claude alvo, vivus in atroce, vivus in atroce,
There you go. Embryo Ventosa by Camerata Mediolanense. Interesting. Now, I really like this kind of music. You know, I like the sound of it. And it's got an almost Gregorian sort of chant sort of sound to it. Like several years ago, I checked out a band called Epta Astera, who mixed Gregorian chanting with sort of black metal elements. And they were a fascinating band to me. And, you know, this band was described as dark wave neoclassical, so I wonder if there's any other tracks that have got maybe a slightly heavier sort of aspect to them. I don't know. Excuse me. But I like the sound of this, you know, the sort of Gregorian chant almost sound to the vocal performance, which sounded amazing out on its own, you know, that almost operatic sort of sound to the vocal tracks, with the three voices coming together, merging very, very well, and then going off doing solo bits each and that sort of thing. It sounded a really, really good piece of music, and I really like it. I'd like to hear more of this band, you know, sort of discover if they've got any sort of like maybe heavier pieces of music, because it says there, you know, they've got members of the band from like the post-punk scene. And then you've got members in the sort of folk music. Now, the folk music element did come through here. Not so much anything like post-punk or anything coming through there. And, you know, with their music being called dark wave as well, it makes me think there might be more to it in other tracks, which I'd be curious to find out more about. But like I said, when I was looking for lyrics for this song, I couldn't find anything, Italian or otherwise. And it didn't even come up with suggestions for lyrics for any of their other tracks either, so I'm assuming it's going to be near impossible to find lyrics for any of their music. And, you know, it's a bit of a letdown, because obviously I like to talk about the song, and, you know, I like to talk about the meanings behind the songs, and obviously I can't do that here, and I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. But it's a piece of music that I really wanted to look at, and I really, really like it. You know, it had musically it had a almost tribal feel to it, you know, with the sort of the rhythm of the drums, and, you know, it had a lot of really cool sounds in it. I really, really liked it. I don't know what else I can say on it. I really like the sound of it. You know, this is a sort of music that I can quite happily stick on in the background whilst I'm maybe doing some writing, or, you know, just chilling out or whatever. You know, I really like this sort of thing. You know, I've mentioned before, I've got a massive taste in, you know, many different genres of music, and I really like this sort of thing. And, you know, obviously I'm into like sounds of violins and stuff like that, you know, because, well, it's a beautiful sounding instrument, which is why I'm learning to play it. And, you know, I like this sort of sound, the sort of chilled out. You know, it did have its heavier elements, you know, it did have moments of sort of like loud, bombastic sort of sounds in it, but it was really more a sort of chilled sort of piece of music, and I like it, but there isn't anything more I can say about it, because I can't really talk about the actual lyrics themselves. But like I said, the song is called Embryo Ventosa, which they repeated several times in the piece of music. You know, and like I said, that means embryo sucker. So are they talking about some sort of demon? Because there was that sort of etched, sort of looked like wood carving at the end of somebody. At the end, you know, at the end of the video, there was that etching of somebody. Whether that had anything to do with the song, I don't know. But, you know, with the song being called Embryo Sucker, is it something to do with a demon, maybe? Is it something, you know, has it got a really dark, sort of sinister story behind it? I'd really like to know more. So if anybody can, you know, put me in the direction of where I might find out more about their songs, because, you know, I like to find out more about the songs I'm listening to, so I can understand what the songs are about. And, you know, I do listen to a lot of foreign music, and more often than not you can find translations to these songs all over the internet, but when it comes to this band, there's practically nothing to find, which is a little disappointing. But yeah, I really can't say much more on it, so I think I'll have to leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like or a subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because it would really help me out. You know, I've been doing this for about 6 years now. Granted, I have missed out some large chunks here and there, but, you know, I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and, you know, barely 2% of people watching my videos are actually subscribed, which is a bit disheartening, because I put a lot of time and effort into these. You know, I try to research as deeply as I can into the band. I try to find out, you know, I try to find the lyrics of the songs and talk about the themes and meanings behind the songs, which I think is something that doesn't get explored enough in reaction videos across the internet. You know, most reaction videos, they just look at a song and go, yeah, it's good, don't like it, and that's about all you get. You know, I like to try and talk about and discuss the themes and meanings in the songs, because there's a common misconception about a lot of music, a lot of heavy metal music especially, that it's all about violence, you know, sacrificing virgins, murder, this, that and the other. And, you know, over the 6 years I've been doing this, we've found that's not the case. You know, a lot of music has a lot of deep, meaningful, real world, you know, meanings, you know, talking about things like homelessness, mental health, depression, domestic violence. You know, these sorts of things are discussed in a lot of heavy metal music, and I think it gets overlooked by a lot of people, which is why I like to talk about what the songs are about. And barely any other reaction channel actually does that, and, you know, something I thought would be interesting to people. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But anyway, you know, if you could like and subscribe, it would really, really help me out. It doesn't cost you anything, it takes a fraction of a second, and would make the biggest difference to me and the channel. But that's all I've got for you for this video. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.